Hey guys, what's going on? Thought I'd do another video on Jason Bond's small account journey after I've done the last couple in a row about it. Mainly because I'm focusing on our own small account journey in thetatraders.com. So if you go to thetatraders.com, we sell options. And so Lance is an expert option seller and he sells premium. He does spreads and all sorts of things in a similar way, but in a much more diversified and effective way than Jason Bond has been doing with his small account challenge. And on Monday, we are launching our first very own small account challenge, which promises to not blow up whatsoever. So Lance will never let your balance explode and disappear, which has happened 12 times or something in Small Account Journey by Jason Bond. So as much as I love Jason Bond, his risk reward tolerance is definitely much different from mine and from many other people's as well. So especially when you're paying for service, you want to make sure that you're not just buying in and 1 out of 12 or something work. So I'm going to cover what Jason is saying he's doing differently, what my thoughts are about it. But first I want to give you a quick introduction to the small account challenge that we're running on Monday. It'll be a live webinar that we launch this product on. It's a small product. Nothing too expensive or anything like that. It's just a small separate channel in the Theta Traders website and the Discord. So it's basically we're going to be taking 5k and trying to turn it into 10k as quickly as possible, but as safely as possible without taking silly risks using sell-side options. And so make sure you come to that, subscribe to the channel, hit the notify me button and the notifications button so you don't miss it. It's about 10 p.m. Eastern time, and it's live, so you can talk to us about all the different strategies and things that we'll be deploying inside this small account challenge. So this is something that I'm almost 100% sure will succeed, and the idea is to go to 5k to 10k and then pay ourselves and then repeat over and over. And so it's a lifetime product, so you buy it just a one-time fee. And I think that's really good, and we're giving away a free subscription to that, so lifetime free subscription to the 5k challenge. All you have to do is go to the link in the description below, fill out your details, and you'll be entered into the prize draw, which will be done on the night of the webinar. So it's probably good to come to the webinar as well. So yeah. So this will be Lance's take on the small account challenge that Jason Bond has been doing with bull puts, and I am 100% convinced that it's going to be more effective. It's going to be slower, but it's going to be much more rewarding in terms of not losing all your capital 12 times before taking a huge bull run. Now, with all that said, I love Jason Bond's stuff. He does a really good job, and he's doing everything he can to improve. So let's go through some of what he's saying that he's improving on recently. So let's get rid of the Theta Trader stuff right now. It'll all be in the description below. So yesterday I did a video, and it was actually this morning, I did a video about the small account journey, saying like how he's done 2,000 to 38,000 in 3 months or whatever it's been, 130 days. He has a 53 win streak now, which is amazing. So this guy's amazing, no matter how you put it. The problem is, it's what you don't see that really messes things up. So after I posted my last video, you can go back into my YouTube channel here and look and see. Somebody actually posted that he started another one on March 1st and it blew up within a few days. And then he just keeps talking about this main one that went from 2,000 to 38,000. Which is cool, except if you're one of the people that did the March 1st one that then blew up and then you gave up and you paid your subscription fees and then you never came back. So I'm not hating on Jason Bond here, I'm just saying you need to have a high win probability every time you launch one of these small account journeys, and that's what I believe that Theta Traders with Lance actually has. And you're not just going to gamble your money and hope that you get one of the ones that goes to like 30,000 or 40,000. All that being said, check out the article in the description below. It's on Jason Bond's small account journey, everything I know about it, seen about it, put in everything here from failed ones to ones that are really doing well. Even an interview with Jason when he was winning really well. Okay, so this is the email I just got. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can actually go and read through it carefully yourself. And my main problem with this is if you go to TradingView, and I did this in my previous webinar, the one that he keeps harping on about how amazing it was and how well it did started here, and we've just gone straight up the whole time. And the one that failed started at the start of March, which was here, and we still went up, but it failed. So it's kind of like, is it the bull market? What happened, you know? So he claims to have learned a lot, developed a lot of new techniques and improved a lot, which some subscribers have become annoyed about because they're like, well, why should we pay somebody to learn how to trade? Like, you know, this guy's been trading for 2 decades almost. This small account journey stuff is very new to him though over the last year, so I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt in some ways on that. Anyway, let's look at some of the major adjustments he's made to the small account journey this year, basically. Actually, very recently. So he starts off very positively. 293 trades have made across multiple challenges, 35 losses. So this is including all the challenges, right? Assuming so. For an overall 88% win rate. The current challenge is 92% win rate. 113 out of 123 trades have been won, 4% higher than average. And with that, the balance has ballooned from 2,000 to 8,000 in 4 months. Sorry, 8,000, 38,000 in 4 months. Spectacular, right? I'd be really happy with that. 52 trade win streak. That's amazing. But it's more than that. I made a few major changes a few months ago, and it's really improving my growth curve. So this is what I was hoping to see from him, is like, what's he done to actually make this better? Because he did one really good one where it went to 30,000 last year, then it blew up. And then he's had several, he's like a dozen or so, where he's just got up a little bit and then blown up and gone back down. So that's what I've got to say to ourselves, is what is he doing different now than he was 6 months ago that could be helping him on this particular journey? And so he's saying, when the journey first started, the plan was to allocate 100% of the balance into every new trade to grow really fast. I thought that was a mistake straight away. And he agrees now. He says, but any mistake, and right back to the drawing board. And that's what was happening. So you're trying to grow really fast, so you're putting everything you've got to compound it as fast as possible. But any big mistake, and you immediately lose it all, you know, half or 3/4 or even more. So, for example, here's the first journey in January 2023. It took only 9 trades to get to 8,000, and then 1 trade to lose it all. So at least he's been transparent in this email. So I got to $8,000, then he lost all in 1 trade, because he kept putting the same amount in after each time. So you can see there is potential here, but he's really got to rein in those losses. So adjustment 1. After 3 attempts with max allocation, that's where he's going in every trade with the full amount. I'd won 16 out of 19 trades, but gone nowhere. See, he's been very honest about this. I decided to put 5 benchmarks in place. Instead of 100% of the balance into every new trade, I would only do 100% up to $5,000 to give it that initial boost, right? And he usually does that. He does pretty well, although it sounds like at the start of March he failed that straight away. And then start to diversify, which sort of makes sense. The balance did very well, and it climbed to above 30% under structure, or benchmark 4, which said 7 trades on at a time. There was no balance between bear calls and bear put and bull puts when QQQ was extended. So he's admitting that there wasn't any real market, adapting to the market. So that's definitely an adjustment that he's hopefully making here. And when he came at 30,000, it wasn't different. Sure enough, the market dipped, and that's the problem. As soon as the market dips, he gets caught with my hand in the cookie jar. This was a painful lesson, which resulted in a quick drawdown to the point where he decided to take profit. So he took profit. You have to remember that just because some of these seem like losers, and not all these are losers, he did take profit at, I think, 10,000 here, right? So let's see, these were the benchmarks. So you had this like reducing allocation as your account grows. Of course, he's never really gotten to above 100k, but he has gotten to 20 to 100k before from 2k balance. So he was at 15% allocation. August 4th, the day was drawdown, and you'll notice is I ignored clear warnings. The market was weakening. How's this being? So he got arrogant. He basically said I attributed to this to being on a hot streak and getting complacent, and just basically ignoring the fact the market was downturning. I think with all these high probability strategies where you're winning like all the time, it's very easy to become complacent and think that you'll never lose. And that's been definitely a struggle for him as well as many other traders. Just looking here. So he started to become more conservative into events, which is good. I always thought it was silly he didn't seem to take these events, like these economic events like interest rate and inflation and all that stuff, into consideration. So just some 2 major change here is we now monitor the QQ breakout thrusts, time at 380R to determine reversion to mean, 10-day EMA support when reversion happens, and Keltner channel mean support. as their uptrend line in the sand. This combination is very powerful and helps us transition from bullish to bearish trades. This could be a big deal, right? Because that's what I keep saying. This works in a bull market, but if you can switch properly to bearish trades, it could also work in a bear market. So everybody's like, oh, it only works when the market goes up. If you can do this properly, so hopefully this adjustment will help in the future. Adjustment 3, the next big change, and this one is very important, is my stop loss. Of course, yeah, he kept getting stopped out with huge losses, like just letting things go to zero. I used to reference 4 possible stop loss levels: a 10-day EMA, sold strike level, middle of the spread, and bot strike. But the problem is I would find myself justifying, that's what everybody does, holding a losing position through all 4 of those levels. You just go, oh, it'll come back, it'll come back, it'll come back, and of course it doesn't. Defiant rationalization is toxic to the goal of you being profitable. 100% agree on that. The stock price would break above the 10 EMA, I would enter a bull put below, the 10 would break, so I'd put my stop to the sold strike would break, and then move it to the middle of the spread, again move it until it was down minus 200% and a max loss. I found the lines to be too subjective. Then one day I listened to Taiku's lesson on stop loss strategy, and he taught 100% of the credit. The way he explained it would really make sense to me, and my losses have been under 100% since. That's great, so definitely pay attention to some of that, maybe look up some of what we're talking about here. Again, I'll leave a link to this in the description below so you can go and read it through yourself and take some of these into your own consideration if you're in the challenge, or journeys as he calls them, or if you're just, you know, some of these are golden nuggets for trading in itself. So, adjustment number 4, I think this is the biggest change I made, and it was a result of all the others. I dropped the 5 benchmarks completely. I keep my allocation pretty consistent, so regardless of the balance, he allocates the same amount of his portfolio. That seems very sensible to me, instead of trying to do some crazy stuff. So now that I'm above 38,000, I'm still doing $2,000 trades. This helps a lot in a lot of ways. First, we know there's a random distribution between wins and losses. By keeping the allocation consistent, when I do run into losses, I don't wipe out the larger percentage. Then that was the biggest problem. He'd have a 10 running streak of winners, get super confident, put all his money in, and then blow up on the inevitable losing trades that would come along. So this is definitely a big deal for Jason's small account journey. So kudos on that. So yeah, this is his current main challenge. He has blown up a few times, like somebody else pointed out, but this is his main success, like his top successful challenge. Other ones keep blowing up along the way, so be aware of that. If you're going to join the service, you have to be careful and learn the rules, and you're not guaranteed to be able to do this. This is just the best case out of many different ones. So I'll put the link to this whole thing in the description below so you guys can go and check it out. I'm super curious, like I said, that if the market continues up and then starts to decline, whether Jason can switch to bearish sell side, and see if he can continue with his winning streaks on the small account journeys. Anyway, all the links that are being talked about in this video are going to be in the description below, so check them out when you've got a minute, and I'll talk to you soon.